Let's go in depth on the case of 3 missing boys out of American Fork, Utah. They were reported missing back in October of 2022, and within the last few months, they were found. Police say the disappearance was orchestrated by their father and members of the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints sect. Police released the name of the boys years ago, but out of respect to the family, we won't be doing that tonight. The boys were located down here, Fredonia, Arizona, after police received information in late August of their location. Here's what happened when police served a warrant on September 1st of this year.
Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Department.
Hey. Come here, we gotta open the door. Come on out, guys. Come on, come on. Let's calm down. Don't resist. Calm down, kiddo.
They going in the door, lock it.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Here we go. Number 1. Hands up on the floor. On the floor. On the floor. Lie down. On the floor. Show me your hands. Crawl out this way to me. Crawl out this way. Crawl towards me. Who else is in there? Everyone in there. Everyone in there. Let me see your hands. Crawl out towards the sound of my voice. Come on.
Keep your hands up where you can see them. Yeah, come on.
Yep.
Did they leave that room, Christian?
There you go. Stop right there. Who else is in there?
Weapons on you? Any guns, knives?
I have a knife on me right here.
Okay, I see it. Leave it right there. Chief, we're moving into clear. Is the police? Anyone in here? Show me your hands. Got a door left. It's a blind corner.
They got a whole compound. It's scary as a cop.
Sorry.
All it takes is for one dude to say, I ain't going back. Why they do it at night? Just to want to make sure they all there.
This one's clear.
Clear?
We've got one.
Got one. Let me see your hands.
Stand up. Show us your hands. Show us your hands. Hands.
Hands up, both of them.
Yo, he's sleeping through all that?
Stand up.
Hands up.
Oh, it's an old one.
Do you have any weapons on you? Moving in.
Check under the bed.
Up. Get up. Show us your hands. Stand up. Stand up.
Hands up.
Out of the bed.
Yo, I didn't think nobody was there, bro. He was under the bed or her. I don't know. But, oh, that's crazy. It was a
Out of the
child?
bed.
Hands up.
Stand up. Show us your hands. Do you have any weapons on
Hands
you?
up.
My watch.
That's not a weapon.
That was
But I'll
it.
hold it for you.
You know our people. You know they're not violent people. So why are you doing this?
Okay, let's move outside.
That was a
Your
woman.
body cam's going. Or
Yes,
not?
ma'am.
It better be.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Oh. You might not be non-violent, but that don't mean a minute.
Well, the body camera was on. The grandmother and aunt who were taken into custody that night, you just saw them there. I've confirmed with Fredonia police that the father was not there that night, but is incarcerated. The boys are back with their mother in American Fork. I recently spoke with Shirley Draper, who was born into the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints community. And when the group was taken over by Warren Jeffs, she left. Now she works for a nonprofit serving people with polygamous backgrounds.
It is very similar to many, many situations that we've been involved with, where a mother will, once she's expelled from the FLDS, will try to go and take her children from wherever they're held, and that reunification can be very, very difficult. And so this case is very, very similar to several others that we've been.
And not to mention, they had him for 2 years. They probably been in their head and, oh, we did this and your mother crazy, or we got to save you guys. I'm sure they asked where their mother was, and they had to put it in a way like, we're doing this for your best. Your mother's a demon. So then you take them and like that, and the police come in and enforce them, and then they bring the kids back. the mother almost got to watch out. 2 boys, I don't know how old they are, but she got to watch out. These kids might think that they're doing something good by hitting her or running away. You gotta, it's mental, man. They
Been
need
involved
therapy.
in. It's always very heartbreaking. A lot of trauma is involved anytime a child is separated from either parent. And in these cases, they've been separated from both parents and then, hidden so that the parents cannot reunify with them.
Oh, so there was. I thought the mother took him. I mean, the father took him away from the mother or something. When they said the father wasn't there, and they was taken away from both of them, like the grandma. Oh,
So in times past, we've been able to many times just get a court order and go and really peacefully resolve it. I think a lot of times the people who have the children, they're terrified. They're terrified for their lives and their salvation, and they're doing what they think they need to do
yeah.
to get to heaven. But there really are ways to resolve this without creating a lot of the hiding and driving people underground.
I mean, is that part of the sect somewhere where that is part of what you're supposed to do with the children and keep them away from other parts of the world, in essence?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, the children are to be raised as calves in the stall. That's a biblical term. And particularly if they perceive that the parents are apostate, to where they will cause the child to lose their salvation. And so if the parents have, before they'd apostatized, if they'd given their children over to be cared for by another family and then come back to try to get that child, that's where the conflict arises. So yes, there is a directive usually from whoever's telling that particular family what to do about hiding them or keeping them away from the family.
So they think they doing this out of love. Grandma love you, and we need to do this for your own good. Mom and dad's allowing you to be in the world and too much. We need to keep you in the stall like calves.
So I think there's a very surgical approach that has to be taken when parents are trying to reunify with children that can be very successful and be done quickly. Or, you can go about it the wrong way and drive them into hiding, and it takes many, many months after that.
How would you describe what these boys experienced over 2 years? Like, what is that inside look really? I guess, what does it really look
Brainwashing,
like when they
probably.
are in hiding?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, there's a lot of fear. I mean, the socialization is the only way you'll be safe, the only way you can get to heaven is to be obedient and not ever show your face to anyone who's trying to take you away. And so that indoctrination, that fear teaching is a really high part of what keeps those kids. I mean, these particular kids, they actually ran away. They didn't get taken by an adult. They ran away because they really had bought into that fear that they were going to go to
Oh,
hell unless they went back to the place where they could be saved. So that kind of indoctrination happens anyway. And so I think that again, there's some really specific techniques, interventional techniques that can be used to keep children with parents if we do it really carefully, surgically, strategically.
What do you hope the public takes away from something like this with that broad misunderstanding or lack of understanding about what the FLDS sect really is in the first place?
Well, a couple of things, and one of them is, understanding that these stories that they're hearing are outliers. Like the FLDS, first of all, is a much as a shadow of what it formerly was. And those that remain really are doing so out of fear and out of the only information and programming and indoctrination they've ever received. It's not like this aunt and grandmother went as adults and decided to start following Warren Jeffs and believing all of these really outlandish things. This is all the information they've ever had. And so they were operating on the very best information they had. They were trying to help these boys. I think that a lot of compassion, a lot of understanding would go a long way here. I just, I have a lot of compassion for everyone in this situation, and I think that there's a lot of things we can do in interventions and therapy that will make a difference. But these kinds of stories are becoming fewer and further between because of the attrition. We just don't have the numbers there that we used to have.
So this is not really common anymore.
Not much, not as much.
What happens to these three
of course not. It's 2000, about to be 2025.
boys from here where does their mindset go? Are they
Therapy.
able to find a way in what we consider traditional society nowadays? Do they run away again years later? Like what in theory would happen after something like this of being removed from something they've known?
There are three pathways, and I've seen all three happen. One pathway is they don't overcome the indoctrination. They choose to go back as adults, go back to what they found to be safe and comforting and, familiar. Um, Even if that happens, because of the disintegration of the FLDS sect and leadership, I don't see that being a long-term solution. A second path is that with all of the trauma they've had, with all of the breakdown of the sense of belonging and identity and everything, um, there have been some really poor outcomes, particularly for males. We have a suicide rate that is 960% higher than the national severe benchmark. The vast majority of those are males between the ages of 19 and 29 is the largest group, but we've had as young as 16 and as old as 82. So with males, it's generally a little more difficult to get them the help they need and get them to understand that they really need the help and to accept the help.
What does the Bible or the Mormon text say about suicide? Is that acceptable?
And so that's why that group tends to be the most vulnerable. Sometimes if it's not suicide, then it is, drug and alcohol use. So if they don't go back into the religion, but don't get the help, then sometimes there can be some really poor outcomes that way. The third path is, get the mental health they need, get their support and the resources they need, and really just go on to live a really great life. One of the things that marks this population with the services that we provide, that we see, is that it's also a very resilient population if they get the resources they need. And so really, the three paths diverge rapidly, and a lot of that really depends on the kind of help, if it's trauma informed, if it's evidence based, and if it is culturally appropriate.
Yeah. So you just can't take them out and just give them anything. You almost have to have other people who's from their religion that still respect the religion, but maybe not this sect that do these things, and talk to them about, like, we're in the world, but we're not of the world, and we can't just hide, and we got to spread our loving nature or something. I don't know. But I'm glad these two boys are home. I'm sure it's crazy. Like, you don't want to look at grandma like she's evil. It's like grandma and auntie, whoever it was, thought they were doing the right thing. And grandma probably was born into this, right? So she definitely thinks hey, I'm near the end of my life. Let me make sure my grandkids is good. What any grandma would do, right? Man. I'm glad they're home, though. Hopefully they don't run away and this is a successful story. But, man, let me know what y'all think, Cave Dwellers.